Let me guess. Money comes in, and somehow it's gone before the month ends. Bills are paid, stress is high, and you're already waiting for the next paycheck. Again, if this feels familiar, you're not bad with money. You're stuck in a system that keeps you reacting instead of moving forward. The paycheck-to-paycheck trap isn't about income alone. Plenty of people earn more and still feel broke. The real problem is that money has no breathing room, no margin, no plan. And when there's no margin, every expense feels like an emergency. In this video, I'm going to break down why this cycle is so hard to escape, and more importantly, how people actually get out of it in real life. Why the paycheck-to-paycheck trap feels impossible to escape. Living paycheck to paycheck is exhausting in a very specific way. It's not just about money, it's mental. You're always reacting. Something breaks, prices go up, an unexpected expense shows up, and suddenly, the entire month feels fragile. The hardest part isn't that money is tight, it's that there's no margin. When there's no margin, every decision feels heavy. You can't plan ahead because you're busy surviving the present. That's why advice like, just budget better, feels insulting. The problem isn't effort, it's structure. Most people stuck in this cycle aren't irresponsible. They're trapped in a system where money comes in, immediately gets assigned to bills, and disappears. Nothing is left to create momentum, and without momentum, nothing changes. Why earning more alone doesn't fix the problem? Here's a truth that surprises a lot of people. Many people escape paycheck to paycheck without a huge raise, and many people stay stuck even after earning more. Why? Because income fixes stress, not systems. When income increases without changing how money is handled, expenses quietly rise to match it. Better phone, better car, more subscriptions, higher lifestyle. Suddenly, the extra money is gone and the pressure is back. That's why the trap feels endless. The goal isn't just more money. The goal is breathing room. Breathing room is what allows better decisions. Without it, even good income disappears fast. The real enemy, zero gap between income and spending. Let's get specific. The paycheck-to-paycheck trap exists because there's no gap between what you earn and what you spend. Everything is spoken for before the month even starts. Rent or mortgage, utilities, food, transportation, debt. By the time those are covered, there's nothing left. Not for saving, not for planning, not for mistakes. This isn't a discipline issue, it's a margin issue. And the first step out is not saving more. It's creating a gap, even a small one. That gap is where control begins. Why small gaps matter more than big goals? Most people try to fix this with big goals. Save thousands, pay off everything fast, change everything at once. That usually fails. What works is starting small, almost boringly small. An extra $50 at the end of the month, then 100, then 200. That small gap does something powerful. It breaks the cycle of panic. It proves that not every dollar has to be spent immediately. Once you experience that, your mindset changes. Money stops feeling like something that attacks you every month. It becomes something you can manage. Momentum starts small, but it compounds quickly. Why emergency expenses keep you stuck? Here's another uncomfortable truth. Most people living paycheck to paycheck aren't dealing with emergencies. They're dealing with predictable surprises, car repairs, medical bills, home issues, annual payments. These things feel random, but they're not rare. They're part of life. The problem is there's no buffer to absorb them. So every time something happens, it pushes you back to zero, or worse, into debt. And debt keeps the cycle alive. Escaping the trap means preparing for these surprises. Instead of being shocked by them every time, the first real shift: stop trying to be perfect. This matters. You don't escape paycheck to paycheck by being perfect for 12 months straight. That pressure causes burnout and quitting. You escape by building systems that work even when life isn't perfect. Miss a target, adjust. Have a bad month, recover. Unexpected expense, plan around it. People who escape the trap don't avoid mistakes. They recover faster and keep going. Progress beats perfection every time. What escaping the trap actually looks like. Escaping paycheck to paycheck doesn't mean life suddenly becomes luxurious. At first, it looks boring. Bills are still there. Income might be the same, but stress is lower. You have a small buffer. You're not panicking over every expense. You're thinking 1 or 2 months ahead instead of 1 or 2 days. That's the turning point. Once that happens, better decisions become possible. Saving feels realistic. Planning feels useful, and the cycle starts to loosen. Where this is headed next. So far, we've identified the real problem. It's not income alone. It's not discipline. It's lack of margin and structure. The next step is building that margin intentionally, without extreme budgeting, without unrealistic advice, and without needing a massive raise. That's where real escape begins. How to create margin when money is already tight. Let's talk about the practical side. Creating margin doesn't mean cutting everything you enjoy. And it doesn't mean extreme budgeting. It means making money a little less fragile. The first move is simple but powerful. You stop treating leftover money as accidental. Most people save only if something is left at the end of the month. That rarely happens. Instead, you intentionally create a small gap at the beginning, even if it's uncomfortable. This might mean setting aside a fixed amount the moment money comes in. Not a big number, just enough to force awareness. That small decision changes how the rest of the month behaves. Spending becomes more intentional. Choices slow down, and suddenly, money stops disappearing silently. Why cutting expenses isn't about sacrifice. Here's where people misunderstand this step. Cutting expenses is not about punishment. It's about removing things that quietly drain you. Subscriptions you barely use. Convenience spending that became a habit. Expenses that don't actually improve your life. You don't need to cut everything. You just need to cut inefficiency. Most people don't miss the money they stop wasting. They miss the idea of spending freely, but not the actual value. And once a little margin exists, stress drops. That's when this starts to feel manageable instead of restrictive. Why increasing income helps, but only if you're ready. At some point, increasing income does matter, but timing is everything. If you increase income before fixing structure, you usually increase stress with better packaging. More money comes in, more money goes out, and nothing really changes. When income increases after margin exists, it behaves differently. The extra money doesn't disappear. It strengthens the buffer. It accelerates progress. That's why people who escape paycheck to paycheck often do it in stages. The role of a small emergency buffer. This is one of the biggest turning points. You don't need a huge emergency fund right away. You need a starter buffer. Even 500 or thousands changes everything. It turns emergencies into inconveniences. It stops debt from creeping in. It gives you confidence to breathe. Without a buffer, every unexpected expense feels like a setback. With a buffer, you recover faster and keep momentum. This is where the cycle really starts to break. Why debt keeps the cycle alive? Debt isn't just a financial problem. It's a psychological one. Minimum payments reduce margin. Interest punishes delay, and debt keeps you focused on the past instead of the future. Escaping paycheck to paycheck usually requires attacking high-interest debt intentionally, not all at once, but consistently. As debt shrinks, margin grows. As margin grows, options expand. This is slow at first, but every small win compounds confidence, and confidence changes behavior. The mental shift that makes everything easier. Here's the shift most people miss. You stop asking, "Can I afford this?" and start asking, "Does this move me forward?" That one question changes spending decisions automatically. Some purchases still make sense. Others quietly fall away, not because you're forcing discipline, but because priorities are clearer. When money has direction, decisions get easier. What escaping the trap really feels like. Escaping paycheck to paycheck doesn't feel dramatic. It feels calm. You're not checking your account constantly. You're not panicking when bills are due. You're not afraid of small surprises. Money still requires attention, but it no longer controls your emotions. That's the real win. Once you reach that point, saving, investing, and planning stop feeling impossible. They start feeling normal. If this video helped you understand why the paycheck to paycheck cycle is so hard and how people actually escape it, support it with a like. Share it with someone who feels stuck despite working hard, and subscribe for more clear, realistic money strategies focused on control, margin, and long-term stability, not quick fixes.